Welcome to Custom Homebuilders Solutions, also known as CHS, a job costing, full accounting, and profit management software designed specifically for the professional home builder. Hello again, everybody. This is the third in a series of videos about Payors in CHS. We've talked about setting up Payors or changing Payor IDs, and in this video, I'd like to talk about deleting Payors and some things about that. So I've clicked the Payors receivables, and I want to open the Payors and Buyers setup list. Some payors are people or any entities that might pay you money, like home buyers, customers, even tenants, title companies, banks, etc., that you would need to set up as payors so that you can post deposits from them or even do accounts receivable for things like tenants, which I've shown in some other videos, and so on. So you set up something called Payor for all those various kinds of entities. In this particular video, we're going to talk about how you can try to delete a Payor and why you might not be able to, and then just how to delete a Payor if you are able to. And the reason you may not be able to delete a Payor is because CHS is, the data for your CHS is in something called a relational database, meaning that any records in your accounting, jobs, activities tables that have used a Payor ID that you set up must relate to a code basically that remains in the Payors table. Therefore, a Payor cannot be deleted if it has been used in any of your database records in various places. And what CHS will do when you try to delete a Payor is it will go look in various places to see if it's been used as an accounts receivable or to post a deposit or in some other way attached to a job, etc. And it will give you a message saying where it's been used. In this video, we'll talk about that. In the previous video, I did a tip when we were talking about changing a Payor ID, about how if you just don't really want to see it so much in your list anymore, when you're doing drop downs to do data entry, you could change the Payor ID and put a ZZ in front of your Payor ID code so that it would drop to the bottom of your list. So let's see what happens when we try to delete Payors and what CHS does with that. To delete a Payor, you use the red X button over here, or to try to delete a Payor and see if CHS will let you, you use the red X button. And I'm going to go ahead, we set up in a little earlier video, when setting up a Payor, we set this one up, I think it was this one, maybe not, but anyway, it's a new Payor to go with a new job. So there's not much activity for this, so we think, well, maybe we can delete this. So let's use the red X button and see what happens. And it pops up and it says the Payor cannot be deleted because it has been selected as the buyer for a job on the job setup window. Try opening the jobs list and then search for the buyer. So it gives you a clue and tells you what to do in case you decide you want to remove it from that job. And since this name is Christian, I might look over here and see if I wrote any notes about what job this one's associated with, and sure enough I did, so we see that over there. So let's go home, let's go to the jobs, and let's open the jobs list. We already saw that that was Vista View, and we know we started the job codes with Vista, so Vista 3813, and we can see that the buyer ID is Christian. So if we want to click the pencil edit icon, and we want to remove this buyer from this list and not have it attached anymore, we can. And we need to select actually miscellaneous, which is the default that's there. And we might remove their first name and last name from the job because maybe their name's changed, or who knows, whatever, but you're just trying to get rid of them and you really aren't going to do this job or something, so you don't want them in your Payors list. So we could save that. So it's no longer attached to this job. So let's see what happens if we go to try to delete this Payor again and see what CHS tells us. Now it says the Payor cannot be deleted because there are comments that have been sent to or have been received from or that have referenced the Payor. Would you like to open a report of those comments? And I can see various comments that have gone back and forth with the Payor. And that had to do with the video I was doing where the buyer was making some selections or unselecting things. And we actually post a comment so that there's a history of things being selected and unselected, which becomes a comment. But you can go ahead and use this little comments bubble to see what there is about comments out there, and then open all the comments for the payer. It's telling us that the payer is also marked as a vendor because we paid them something, I think. But anyway, my point is, now we see these comments. We can see that there's 7 comments, and they're all about buyer selections and unselections. And I could sit here and actually go ahead and delete these if I have a higher level of permission, a very high level, and get those all deleted so that those will get out of our way. But I'm not going to take the time on the video. I do know that this payer doesn't have any other activity, and if I got rid of those comments, I'd probably be able to delete it. But let's just move on and look at a few more. Let's see what happens when I try to delete this one. It has been used in your accounting records. Let me do one other and show you something. Let's try one of our renters, which is going to tell us we have records in the accounting. I know, and it says, it's telling me all about there's accounting records. If you click the yes button, the report will open. If the journal is AP or offset, then the payer is also marked as a vendor, and you can find the entries in all payables. It tells you things about where you can go find them, but this is a report of where that payer ID has been used, so that you can look at what journal, like an AR entry was made, a deposit was posted, an AR for accounts receivable. If there's some reason you need to go delete or edit those to change the payer for whatever enormous reason, you can export this to PDF, keep that PDF over down in your taskbar, and be trying to see what you can do about those records. But because this is a relational database, it cannot delete a payer that's been used, especially in accounting records, and that's really what it checks for first, because then all of those accounting records that have that payer ID on it won't make any sense, and it kind of blows the logic of everything that the computer's trying to do. So you're not allowed to delete things that have actually been used. Again, you could use my tip about changing the thing to ZZ if you're not going to be doing stuff with this vendor anymore. I don't recognize what's going on with Bob Jones. Let's see if I click to delete Bob Jones. Okay, here's one we can delete. Apparently Bob Jones is one I was just playing with, and CHS has checked to make sure that that payer has not been used anywhere. It says note, if you click OK to delete, CHS will insert a record into the audit table about the deletion and who deleted it. Is it okay to delete the payer? And I'll say OK. Then this list will refresh and you won't see Bob Jones in here anymore. And if you look at the audit table about payers, you can see user confirmed deletion of payers. So that's pretty much all there is to all of that. But CHS gets very active in telling you why it can't be deleted. To say we are going to come back and do a video that has to do with searching the fields, some reports that you can do, some labels that you can do, how to use the alphabet bar up here, that kind of thing, in the very next video about payers. Thank you for watching.